Hi, I'm Stephanie Townrow, the Director of Education and Public Programs at Lancaster History, and I'm here in James Buchanan's dining room to give you a little taste of his china. James Buchanan had a really extensive collection of French-made china. I'm standing in front of a cabinet with representations from two of his most beautiful and opulent sets. The set on the top, the light pink set, was made in the early 1830s in Sèvres, France, and it's very typical of a beautiful set of French china made in the Sèvres region. What's particularly interesting is this beautiful pastel pink color. This color was indicative of china that was made in France, and it was a very expensive color to produce. So instead of indicating femininity, it really indicated wealth during Buchanan's time period. The set below that set is the maroon banded set made in Limoges, France. This is a set that Harriet bought on one of her Parisian shopping trips on behalf of her uncle. This is part of a 500-piece set, as is the Sèvres china, so you're only seeing a really small representation of huge sets of china. We know that Buchanan brought both of these sets with him to the White House. Unlike most presidents, Buchanan did not have White House china made for him by the White House. He brought his own and then brought it back, a representation of some version of frugality, although there is no doubt that this china was very expensive for Buchanan. Buchanan's niece, Harriet Lane, had her own set of pink French china made for her on her 6th wedding anniversary in the early 1870s. And on the table here, I've pulled a representation of each set of china. This set on the left is Buchanan's Sèvres china from the early 1830s. The middle is the Limoges china from the early 1850s. And on the right is one of Harriet's pieces from the early 1870s. You can see the similarities. Although these pieces are 50 years apart, there's still a lot of similarities with the way china is being produced in France and the type of china that's desired by Americans. These sets were very expensive for the family. We know that Harriet paid almost $2,000 for her set of china. To put that in context, she paid $12,000 to purchase Wheatland upon Buchanan's death, so it's a tremendous amount of money. And we have a representation of Harriet's china here in this cabinet for you to see. Her china is particularly lovely, partly because it's very well made in France, and partly because it has a representation of her husband's coat of arms on it. It's her husband's initials and his family coat of arms, which is the hand holding the dagger. So it's a really cool set to look at. Thanks for joining me for this, and tune back for some of our other videos. Thanks.